Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey, I'm Johnny Mac. Let's get right to it. Jimmy Kimmel kicked off an 18-minute monologue with this homage to Jack Paar, which I explained to you in a bonus episode yesterday.
Thank you. Anyway, as I was saying before I was interrupted, if you're just joining us, we are preempting your regularly scheduled encore episode of Celebrity Family Feud to bring you this special report. I'm happy to be here tonight with you. I'm not sure who had a weirder 48 hours, me or the CEO of Tylenol. It's been overwhelming. I've heard from a lot of people over the last 6 days. I've heard from all the people in the world over the last 6 days. Everyone I have ever met has reached out 10 or 11 times. Weird characters from my past are the guy who fired me from my first radio job in Seattle, where we are not airing tonight, by the way. Sorry, Seattle. His name is Larry. In 1989, Larry tried to force me to do a bit called Jokes for Donuts, where people would call in with a joke and I would give them donuts. I refused to do it, and then I made a lot of fun of Larry for suggesting it, and eventually Larry fired me, and I had to move back in with my parents. But even he wrote in to cheer me up. Thank you, Larry, and I want to thank everyone who checked in. I would take all week to list all of them, but some that I do especially want to mention are my fellow late-night talk show hosts, my friend Stephen Colbert, who's found himself in this predicament, my friends Jon Stewart, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Fallon, John Oliver, Conan O'Brien, James Corden, Arsenio, Kathy, Wanda, Chelsea, even Jay reached out. I heard from late-night hosts in other countries, from Ireland and from Germany. The guy in Germany offered me a job. Can you imagine? This country has become so authoritarian. The Germans are like, come here. Cut loose. My boyhood idols, Howard Stern and David Letterman, were very considerate and kind, and I feel honored to be part of a group of people that knows what goes into doing a show like this. And I also want to thank all of you.
For a lot of these clips, I'm scoping them down to cut down on audience applause. Jimmy then got more serious. He thanked his audience, but then thanked these folks.
Maybe most of all, I want to thank the people who don't support my show and what I believe, but support my right to share those beliefs anyway. People who I never would have imagined, like Ben Shapiro, Clay Travis, Candace Owens, Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, even my old pal Ted Cruz, who, believe it or not, said something very beautiful on my behalf.
I hate what Jimmy Kimmel said. I am thrilled that he was fired.
Oh, wait, no, not that. The other part.
But let me tell you, if the government gets in the business of saying what you, the media, have said, we're going to ban you from the airwaves if you don't say what we like, that will end up bad for conservatives.
I don't think I've ever said this before, but Ted Cruz is right. He's absolutely right. This affects all of us, including him. I mean, think about it. If Ted Cruz can't speak freely, then he can't cast spells on the Smurfs. Even though I don't agree with many of those people on most subjects, some of the things they say even make me want to throw up. It takes courage for them to speak out against this administration, and they did, and they deserve credit for it, and thanks. For telling their followers that our government cannot be allowed to control what we do and do not say on television, and that we have to stand up to it.
Jimmy Kimmel then spoke about the comments that kicked off this kerfluffle, and he gets pretty choked up here, and I got to admit, I got pretty choked up watching Jimmy Kimmel get choked up.
I've been hearing a lot about what I need to say and do tonight, and the truth is, I don't think what I have to say is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind. But I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make, but I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear, or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever. And also, selfishly, I am a person who gets a lot of threats. I get many ugly and scary threats against my life, my wife, my kids, my coworkers because of what I choose to say. And I know those threats don't come from the kind of people on the right who I know and love. So that's what I wanted to say on that subject. But I don't want to make this about me because, and I know this is what people say when they make things about them, but I really don't. This show is not important. What is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have a show like this.
Jimmy then got very serious about the FCC.
Should the government be allowed to regulate which podcasts the cell phone companies and Wi-Fi providers are allowed to let you download to make sure they serve the public interest? You think that sounds crazy? No! 10 years ago, this sounded crazy. Brendan Carr, the chairman of the FCC, telling an American company, we can do this the easy way or the hard way, and that these companies can find ways to change conduct and take action on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead, in addition to being a direct violation of the First Amendment, is not a particularly intelligent threat to make in public. Ted Cruz said he sounded like a mafioso.
Ahead of Jimmy Kimmel's return, the president of the United States went on social media and posted, "I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back. The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled, ! Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone, all caps, and his talent was never there. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage, in all caps? He's yet another arm of the DNC, and to the best of my knowledge, that would be a major illegal campaign contribution. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Let Jimmy Kimmel rot in his bad ratings. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. Is that a shakedown? Sounds like it could be possibly, maybe, perhaps a shakedown. Stephen Colbert briefly addressed the return of Jimmy Kimmel. I have edited this for pacing.
I just want to start off, I'm so grateful to have this show. I'm going to say thanks to everybody in here and to everybody watching from home who I think might just be my wife, Evie, because everybody else probably watching ABC, because tonight Jimmy Kimmel returned to the airwaves. I'm glad Kimmel's back. He is a wonderful fella. To know him well is to admire him immensely, even if he takes the whole summer off.
Jimmy Fallon even more briefly addressed the return of Jimmy Kimmel.
And if you're tuning in to see what I'll say about my suspension the last couple of days, again, you're watching the wrong Jimmy. Dad? The other Jimmy, Dad.
And Joe Rogan finally weighed in on all this. Welcome to the party, pal. On the Joe Rogan Experience on Tuesday, Joe Rogan said, I definitely don't think that the government should be involved ever in dictating what a comedian can or cannot say in a monologue. Rogan called Kimmel a good guy, a smart guy, and a funny guy. And Rogan said, these companies, if they're being pressured by the government, so if that's real, and if people on the right are like, you go get them, oh my God, you're crazy. You're crazy for supporting this because this will be used on you. You don't think the bleeping globalist lizard people who run the world are sitting here going, great, what do we got? 3 years? We'll wait this out. We'll wait this out. Yeah. Let them say the government should be involved in censoring people's speech. Well, Joe Rogan, to answer your question, the companies, if they're being pressured by the government, if that's real, the president of the United States put out on social media. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. You tell me, Joe. Jimmy Kimmel, in his 18-minute monologue, addressed, were there conditions on your return, Jimmy Kimmel?
People have been asking me if there are conditions for my return to the air, and there is one. Disney has asked me to read the following statement, and I agreed to do it. Here we go. To reactivate your Disney Plus and Hulu account, open the Disney Plus app on your smart TV or TV-connected device.
Jimmy then thanked ABC.
Fortunate to work at a company that has allowed me to do the show the way we want to do it for almost 23 years. I've done almost 4,000 shows on ABC, and over that time, the people who run this network have allowed me to evolve and to stretch the boundaries of what was once traditional for a late-night talk show, even when it made them uncomfortable, which I do a lot. Every night, they've defended my right to poke fun at our leaders and to advocate for subjects that I think are important by allowing me to use their platform, and I am very grateful for that. With that said, I was not happy when they pulled me off the air on Wednesday. I did not agree with that decision, and I told them that, and we had many conversations. I shared my point of view. They shared theirs. We talked it through, and at the end, even though they didn't have to, they really didn't have to. This is a giant company. We have short attention spans, and I am a tiny part of the Disney Corporation. They welcomed me back on the air, and I thank them for that.
And in a really good bit, the new head of the FCC, played by Robert De Niro in character, he explained how things are going to work from now on to Jimmy Kimmel. I have made a few edits here for pacing.
Pardon me for saying so, maybe you're the wrong guy to talk to, but it seems like the FCC is using mob tactics to suppress free speech.
What the did you just say to me?
I didn't mean any offense. You know, you can't curse or we'll get fined by the FCC.
I am the FCC. I can say whatever the I want. No.
Well, it sounds a little like threats and intimidation to me, Chairman.
Stop that. It's just me, Jimmy, the chairman of the FCC, gently suggesting that you gently shut the up.
But you can't say that. That's a violation of free speech.
Oh, yeah, about that. Speech, it ain't free no more.
What? It's not free no more?
Yeah, we're charging by the word now.
You're charging by the word? How much are you charging?
It depends on what you want to say. Like, you want to say something nice about the president's beautiful, thick yellow hair, or how he can do his makeup better than any broad. That's free.
Okay. All right. That seems reasonable.
But if you want to do a joke like he's so fat he needs 2 seats on the Epstein jet, that's of course.
Welcome back, Jimmy Kimmel. All right, on this feed at noon today, a really spirited conversation in a great way with Jason Zinoman from the New York Times. We discussed the Riyadh Comedy Festival, which is the next big story that we'll be covering, and a couple other comedy topics. It's actually my favorite hour of this podcast I've ever done. So come back at noon Eastern and catch my wonderful conversation with Jason Zinoman from the New York Times, and I'll meet you back here then.